Think of this latest generation of the Nissan Sentra as a supersized value car. And that's because it's a lot bigger, it's packed full of more features, nicer materials, it gets a lot better fuel economy, but strangely, it has less power. Our full review coming up next on the Fast Lane Car. To get 39 miles to the gallon on the highway, or 34 combined MPG, Nissan has done something that, well, very few manufacturers ever do. They've actually put in a smaller engine under the hood. Instead of the outgoing model's 2-liter, 147 horsepower 4-cylinder, now you get a 1.8-liter, 130 horsepower 4-cylinder, which means, of course, that you get great fuel economy, but especially up here at a mile above sea level, you get very slow acceleration times. If you're interested in seeing our 0 to 60 test, just visit tflcar.com, because even I was surprised at how slow this is, especially up here. Really, there's only one way to find out just what kind of machine this is. Let's take it for a drive. And you know what? Let's do it in the mountains, because heck, one of the upsides of living at 5,000 feet above sea level is we've got mountains and canyons to carve. That's a CVT. It's just always revving at 5,000 and not much is happening. All right, I'm being a little funny, obviously, but this is a basic commuter car that's been supersized into something that provides a lot of value in terms of MPG, in terms of comfort, and in terms of interior design. Nissan builds some of the best CVTs, continuously varying transmissions, in the business, and this Sentra is no exception. It's got a fine CVT that pairs well, like a fine wine, with the 1.8-liter engine. However, if you're a car enthusiast, well, it's hard to really fall in love with a CVT because it always feels like there's a pillow between you and the accelerator. Of course, this car isn't being sold to car enthusiasts. It's being sold to people who value 39 miles on the highway, and for that use, it's excellent. It isn't, by any stretch of the imagination, a performance car. So driving it, flogging it through the mountains here is kind of silly. And that's why I'm just having a little bit of fun with it, because not much happens. You step on the gas and, you know, the CVT kind of whines and the engine kind of screams, and, well, it's not putting a huge smile on my face. Having said that, it's not bad. It certainly is no Audi R8 or even Honda Civic SI, but the steering does communicate some road feel. The brakes are somewhat linear, and the engine, well, the engine is 1.8 liters of fuel economy. Compared to the previous generation, the inside of this car is so much nicer. It's like night and day. The materials are of a higher quality, everything is soft, the ergonomics, in other words, where things are positioned, is much more elegant. There's even a heated seat for the passenger and the driver. It's completely and utterly better than the outgoing model. Obviously, if you're buying this vehicle, you're not buying it to car canyons. You're buying it because you want a good, solid, reliable car to take to work. And for that duty, it seems very well suited. There is a sport button right here, which I pressed when I went 0 to 60 and didn't do much. Let's see what happens when I press it in the mountains. It seems, well, let's try it without the sport button. Here we go. No sport button. Sport button. Alright, honestly, I can't tell if that sport button is doing anything. However, there it just did jump up to 6,000 RPM. So perhaps there is some value to having a sport button besides making you feel like you've bought a sports car. There's also an economy button. And that does, I'd say about the same thing that the sport button does. Oh my, it's the back seat where the new Sentra really shines. I mean, look at the amount of space I have. I'm 6'2", and I have no problem getting my legs back here, and that's with the driver's seat all the way back. You do really get a supersized car for not a supersized price. But perhaps if you push the economy button in relaxed driving, you will get better fuel economy. I'm going with that. You know, if Nathan were back here, or should I say Nathan's, you can get 2 of them into this trunk. That's how much room there is. So we've got great amount of room, a nice interior, incredible fuel economy, and you know what? The Sentra needs all that because it competes in a very crowded segment with cars like the Honda Civic, the Toyota Corolla, the new Dodge Dart. I could keep going, but this is a very crowded market. Unfortunately, at least in my opinion, it doesn't have the good looks that the segment demands. It's sort of long, tall, and roly-poly. It kind of feels like the designers stretched it both ways and then slapped an Ultima front end on it. It's just too busy. There's not enough definition to make you want to look back when you park the car and walk away from it. Finally, this car does have a quirk that would definitely take it off my list, and that is I'm relatively tall. I've got pretty long legs, and there's a little bit of trim here along the side of where the stick shift gear selector is. When I put my foot there, this chrome strip just digs into my leg, and on long trips it gets very annoying very quickly. Alright, to be fair, I know exactly what the sport button does. It keeps the CVT in the engine's power range, such as it is. So what we have here is a supersized value car. What we don't have is, well, a car that's a lot of fun to drive, but that's okay. Not every car has to be a barrel full of monkeys. And for that reason, on the TFL scale of buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it, I'm gonna give it a lease it. Mainly because I just like a little bit more panache in my daily driver. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car, and please subscribe for a new video every day or follow us on Twitter at tflcar.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.